Welcome to the channel. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Join me on today's review where we'll be looking at the 5462 mass Homage. This is the upgraded version. I will link the previous review that I did on this watch. It was quite detailed. This review, however, will be much shorter. So they have made a couple of changes to this watch. So let's go over some specs, dimensions, and let's look at the changes that they've done. So let's get the gloves on. Wrist check for the day. Do have the C-Stern Doxa Homage. Okay, so let's take this out of the packaging. I've always liked the packaging on 54 watch. Does the job really good and looks quite good as well. So here we have the 62 mass Homage. Now, as I mentioned, I did a full review on this, so I'll link that in the description. The two brands that do stand out for me when it comes to 62 mass Homages are definitely 54 watch and now C-Stern. Now, something about the 62 mass from Seiko, the guys that know, it's very, very iconic. The 6217 model number. Now the thing is, we do have a fair few homages, as I always mention: Heimdall, Steel Dive, and of course San Martin. Now, no matter how well built they are, no matter all the specs they have, I think some of them have become so modernized that they take so much away from the simplistic 62 mass that Seiko made. This is why I love the 54 watch and the C-Stern models, because they do take it back to the basics. They give you those awesome dimensions which the original came out with. Now the case diameter is 38mm, and that's pushed out just slightly due to the bezel. As you can see, it is slightly bigger than the case. You do have a case thickness of 14mm and a lug to lug of 46.5. Very good proportions. Of course, smaller is friendly as well. And you also have that 20mm lug width. Now, in terms of specifications, now you do have a double dome box style sapphire crystal. I'll talk a little bit more about this crystal slightly later on. Now, you also have a ceramic bezel insert, a 120 click unidirectional bezel, of course, a stainless steel case, screw down crown, screw down case back with 200 meters of water resistance, and the watch does run the Seiko Epson NH35 movement. Let's talk about the price. It did kind of take me back. This watch was sent in for free by 54 watch. Of course, I appreciate that. But when I did look at the price on the website, you're looking at around $350, so £250 plus. It did gobsmack me slightly. They were kind of pricey on the previous model, but I don't see how the upgrades have led to such a higher price. However, they have been selling some, so what can you say on that? Of course, I think the majority of people watching would want the price to be a lot cheaper. That being said, I do have a discount code. I don't know how much difference it'll make, but it's still better than nothing. If you use that code, you will get $20 discount off the final price. So the positive thing is, in terms of shipping, they use UPS, especially in the UK. The shipping is around 3 days, well under a week. So I suppose that's positive. Now, let's have a closer look at this watch and let's see what they have changed. So as I did mention, they have changed the crystal and the ceramic bezel insert. Let's look at the bezel insert first and foremost. It is now ceramic as opposed to aluminium. And the markings in here, as you'll see, they actually use silver and not white, which I think is a good touch, because white does kind of stand out. It just seems a bit Tipex-ish. But it's really good that they've gone with this silver, as you can see, debossed and filled in with this silver paint. I think that's a good touch. For ceramic being scratch resistant and extra hard wearing, but still quite sensitive to cracks and breaks if you do hit it on something. Now, as well as that, they've done this top hat style double dome sapphire crystal. But what's amazing about this is, if you just have a look at the side profile, there's hardly a dome present. Usually with the top hat crystals, of course, you see that the crystal which does protrude, gives it a really nice vintage aesthetic. And this is where I'm slightly torn. I do like that they've kept the profile really slim, and they've given you this double dome box style distortion present in the crystal. As you can see, if you look at the hour markers and of course the chapter ring around the dial, you'll see that they are slightly distorted. So that's really great. But I think if they stuck out a bit, it would have looked probably nicer, a bit more vintage. But again, trying to keep thickness in mind, I think it's good that they have kept a low profile. So on the visual side, I think this is where some people might also be slightly torn. So those are the two major differences. So let's have a quick look at the Lume. It starts off pretty decent, but then it does start to fade quite a bit. And what you'll notice is there is some slight patchiness present on some of the hour markers. It isn't as bright as you'd expect, especially with the hour markers being as big and bold as they are. I just think there's just not enough Lume applied. Maybe a few more layers would have helped, but you can definitely see it starting to go down slightly. And you see that bit of patchiness. I would like to see, especially at that price point, a hell of a lot of Lume present on this watch. It should be glowing like a lighthouse. Now let's have a look at the bezel. It is a coin edge style bezel. It is brushed. Feels really nice. Now let's check the rotation. That is really nice, very smooth, does not require a lot of torque to get it moving, not much resistance. But it's not too loose either. It does line up pretty well. No backplay. I like it. It's a very fluid bezel. I do prefer this kind of rotation on a bezel. So it's good. It's quite light because the coin edge isn't that distinguished. So you will have trouble with the grip. But if it moves this easy, you should have no issues. And the case finishing, you do have this circular brushed finishing around the A face. Turn it over to the side and you've got a fully polished side. Now you do have drill lugs. Case back, you've got 54 watch logo, which is like a ship, and then you've got specifications on the back, fully polished of course. The crown itself, 54 logo on there, quite thick, really well machined, screws out nicely. You change the time, back in, very positive on the click, and screws in quite nicely as well. Very well threaded. You've got this tropical style rubber strap. I think it's FKM rubber as it is very supple. And you've got these stainless steel buckle. So yeah, that is the overview of the watch. And I'd say, you know what, price is the only thing which is kind of making me hesitant. You know, I know what a lot of people are going to say. This is, you know, the top end of affordable. It is San Martin money. The general public do prefer specifications. I think the San Martin Heim dollars will always be the choice, especially now the Seaston coming in at 130, which is around 170 or 180 dollars. Massive competition for this watch. So let's get this watch on wrist. 62 mass Homage on my 6.5 inch wrist. As you can see, it is going to fit really well. It's going to be very comfortable as well. Nice case. Although I think the case back just slightly makes it sit above on the wrist, but you know, due to the diameter, it doesn't look too bad. Good lug to lug, and like I said, these vintage looks, I absolutely love them. So the good things, I'm impressed. I like everything they have done. You know, I like that sapphire crystal and the ceramic bezel. I love that bezel insert, very easy to rotate. I love the case and everything like that. The only two things which are, I'll say, negatives for me on this watch. Number one being the price. It's, you know, it's up there definitely. And the second thing kind of ties in with that is the Lume. You know, if you are going to pay over $300 for this, you want the Lume to be exceptional. You know, I don't think the ceramic bezel insert and that crystal warrant that much of an increase, but that's my opinion on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.